Right, let's have a little look at this Savage. This was the one the other day. Went out to give it a test drive, and it melted the spur. So I've taken it off because I used this one as a bit of an example when I done a little video on slipper clutches and how they work and why they're there for the pointless reason. So this was the spur that was on it, and it's completely melted. Now the reason that's completely melted, I've had plenty of people tell me their own reasons. Quite a lot of know-it-alls out there, and quite a lot of people that think they know what they're talking about. That's a little bushing that goes inside there, so that would look exactly like that. That's how it should look, with a slipper pad on the inside. So the slipper clutch was starting to slip, and I just kept driving it because, well, why not? I mean, you only get one life, so keep going with things. You got the spring, you got the nut. That nut is what came loose, and the slipper was slipping a lot on the, whatever you call that thing, slipping on there a lot. It got really hot, melted the little bush out, and now we can look at it and smile with a great big smile. What do you call it? I don't know. What do you call it? No one knows what you call it. You just call it something.
There's probably like 1,000 people like typing in the comments right now going, oh, it's called this or whatever.
Yeah. I even had one person tell me that the engine was too lean, which made the slipper clutch melt. No, nothing of the sort. The only reason that the spur gear melted was because the slipper was slipping far too much. Just got too hot. I did try to tighten it, but it is what it is. So anyway, that's enough rambling on about that rubbish. I've got this other one. I've got quite a few laying around here. I've got somewhere, there's a metal one. I was going to put the metal one on, but I want to keep that for my own. I'm going to put that on the SS at some point, so I'm not going to put that on. There's various other ones. Some of them have bushes, some don't. For some reason I've kept that one. I don't know why. I probably kept it through a good slipper. I don't know why I kept that, but we'll still keep it anyway. Now this one, the one that was on it was a 49 tooth, and I haven't got any 49s. Well, I might have some 49s laying around somewhere, but to hand I've got 47 tooths. So we're going to stick a 47 tooth on there and just carry on with life and enjoy it after that, I reckon. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit of brake cleaner on this friction plate and just give it a little bit of a clean, just to make sure there's no oil got on that, because obviously we don't want that to be oily, because I don't want it to slip at all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do up the nut as tight as I can get it to go, so that we don't get any slippage. We don't want any slippage. So there's an easy way to do this, and there's just another way to do it, but I'm going to do it this way. If we tip it up like that, and then you put that on there like that, and then we put that on there, and then we put that on there, and then we put the nut on. Do the nut up as tight as we can so that it doesn't, so that it grips the two, because otherwise the little friction plate can come undone. So we do that now. Where's my little spanner? There's my little spanner. I could use the other thing, but I'm going to use this spanner. Do that up like that. Should be able to get a screwdriver here somewhere. Stick that in the back there just to hold it in place. I'm going to do this nut up as tight as I can get it to go. I don't want any slippages at all. We don't want the slipper clutch to be a slipper clutch. We just want it to be a direct drive. That's what we want. Because the minute we start doing slipperages, that's when we get issues. So I'll stop using a screwdriver. Now that I've got that nice and tight, we can get a pair of mole grips in there. Do them up nice and tight like that. Grip hold of that. And now we can get that even tighter. But you've got to be careful, because if you do it too tight, you can snap off the shaft or strip the thread. But that's tight enough for me. That's on there lovely and jubbly. Let's stick the engine back in and have a good life. I reckon that's a good idea. Is that done up tight enough? Yeah, that's tight. I reckon that's a cracking good idea. Engine goes in. Like that. We might need to readjust the mesh, because obviously we've got a slightly smaller spur now, whereas we had a 49 before. We've now got 47. If I can get them threads to line up. There we go, there's one thread. The minion's behind me, minion number 1 is behind me, spinning around on a spinny chair at the moment. Yeah.
If you only creaking, it's me.
The spinny chair does a lot of creaking. That spinny chair is about it's about 25 years old. Yeah, it might even be older than that actually. And I had to weld the bottom of it up once, but other than that, it's still going nice and strong. Right. That mesh actually seems okay, but I won't be able to do it with these bolts. I'll have to undo the engine bolts underneath and move the engine over slightly. I might just try and get it a little bit closer if I can. Let's take that off of there now, just in case we get any leakages, because I'm going to have to turn it over in a minute. I'm going to put that one on there. Like that. I've got to do a little bit of a... I'm probably going to change the... I don't know, I might keep the air filter actually. Before I sell this, I don't really know yet. It ain't going to come with a battery in it, I know that much. They were expensive. Right, do that up. Do these bolts up. Now, I don't know about you lot, but when I do the mesh, I like the mesh to be literally on the edge of where it's too tight. Literally on the edge of that. That's never going to work.
Don't hit me. Oh my god.
So I play around with it, and I like to get it till it's just there. If you know what I mean, I'll explain. It can't be that bloody difficult. Now luckily one of these is missing, so we've only got a wrist, and that worked perfectly. So now we can just lever that over there a little bit. I'll say about there. Do that up. That seems about right to me. Do that one up. Minion's gone in the freezer. You won't find any ice cream in there. Having said that, there are 2 cornettos in there.
You've got an empty box here.
Well, I didn't leave an empty box in there. I certainly didn't leave an empty box in there. You won't catch me doing that. Right. Now that might be slightly too tight, but it's alright there. And then it goes tight, and then it goes loose. That's alright. We'll play around with that. But for now, that's perfect. Great. So we've got a new spur and a new slipper pad. I don't think there was anything else wrong with it. So yeah, I like to make the spur, well, the mesh on the spur between the spur and the bell. So it's just a gnat, probably just a gnat too tight. Because the thing is, if you have them too tight, not only does it put pressure on the bearings, on the clutch bearings, and also, well, the bell bearings and also the spur bearings on here in the box, but also the actual gears themselves, the cogs, the teeth, will heat up from friction, and the plastic ones, they can melt easier and quicker. But I like them just a gnat too tight, really. The optimum sort of mesh is where the teeth go all the way in. I can't really show you, I don't think you're going to be able to see anywhere in there, but the teeth between each other, they go all the way down, but they don't quite go to the bottom. They pretty much do, and it rolls nicely. If you get it so it sounds, makes that noise, it's too tight. But I like to run them like that, and I won't listen to anybody who says otherwise, because what I've found over the years is, if you set them up like that, they will wear in a little bit, and it will just be fine. Because, well, I could explain and explain and explain, but it'll only ever fall on deaf ears. Everyone does things differently. Everybody sets spurs and meshes and everything up set differently. But I like to do it just, I put them too tight and then I back it off a gnats, and that's it. I set it, I forget about it, I move on with life and have a nice life. That's it. So yeah, I don't think there was anything else wrong with this. I think it was more or less pretty good. Other than that, I did manage to somehow lose the little cover that goes on the box there. I did put it back on. I don't know if it was, I think after I finished filming I then had another couple of little, no, I couldn't have done, could I, because it broke, didn't it? What did I do with it then? What happened? No, I think I put it back on. Yeah, I did. I put it back on, and then I was playing around with that football that I found. So I reckon what's happened is I didn't quite put it back in properly. And it's either, it might be in the boot of the car. It might be in the boot of my car. I hadn't thought about that. Well, yeah, no, it might be in the boot of the car. It either fell out while I was messing around and before I put it in the boot of the car, or it's fallen out when I've been carrying it places, because I carried it around a few places before it ended up back on this bench. It could be anywhere. Hopefully it's in the boot of my car and I'll go and get it out and put it back on. If not, I'll be getting another one, because can't really run it without a little cover on it, because all the dirt, debris, stones, dust will get inside that gearbox, and if a stone gets in there, it'll jam it up. If dust and dirt gets in there, it ain't going to be good for it. It'll wear it out quick. But don't worry, I won't be running it like that, and before it's sold, it'll have a new cover on it. But man, I can't believe, just look how clean this is. Look how clean that is. If you want, I can show you my Savage 21, and you know, yeah, I'll go and get that down in a minute. I'll show you my Savage 21 and we'll compare the bottoms of this. Now, someone also said to me, which I did think to myself, but I didn't really pay much attention yet, because you can change body shells. But this, I thought, and someone else has said the same, is a limited edition shell. I wasn't entirely sure on it. No, I'm not a bloody HPI Savage encyclopedia. But I did think to myself, I think that was a special shell for something or another. Now, a couple of people have said that this is a special limited edition shell. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the actual car itself is a limited edition car, because, well, let's be honest, You can put that shell on any car you want. That doesn't then change the car, does it? But there are some little upgrades in here. I don't know whether you can see right down in there, but the steering, the servo saver on the steering, you're never going to be able to see that, are you? I wonder if you can see down that way. Can you see down there? There you go. It's purple. They don't come purple on the 21s or 25s, so that might be different. Also, this plate is usually purple, the engine mount plate. That's not purple. I don't see how that makes much of a difference, though. I don't see how that's an upgrade. These are blue, but they could have been changed over the years. Don't forget, this is more than 20 years old. You can change shocks. I mean, I've put blue ones on my 21. It comes with red ones. The 25, I can't remember what colour they came with. I think it may have even been blue, or was it purple? Don't know. My memory doesn't serve me. This is an upgraded brake disc thing. They come with plastic, single plastic one. I think it was a single plastic one it come with when they were new or at the time. So, but that can be put on as well. I bought one of these and put it on my Savage 21. So there is a few upgraded parts on this 25, but does that mean that it is a limited edition car? I don't know. Because as I said, over the years, you can simply just buy those parts and put them on a normal 25. But that doesn't make that 25 now a limited edition, does it? No, it doesn't. But it is what it is. It's as simple as that. Let me go and get my Savage 21, which I've had from brand new, and I'll show you how clean this one really is underneath. Right, so there we go. This one, that's my Savage 21, which I've had from brand new in 2002 or 3 or whenever it was. And this is the 25 in question. Look how clean and tidy all this is. That's all the original screws. That's hardly scratched. That's, you know, a little bit of scratching. All these are the original screws. That's all clean and tidy. Now you've got my 20. None of these are original. These have all been lost over the years, and I've replaced them. That's broken. There's some screws missing. Quite a lot of screws missing, actually. Very dirty, very dusty. Very, very scratched as well. You'll see it's done a fair amount of jumping. So what I'm trying to prove to you by showing you this is a bloody clean truck, and I think it's amazing. I don't really think it's hardly ever been used, if I'm honest. This one had daily use when I was a kid, up until I was about 16, 17. That's when I really stopped using it daily. Before then, from age, I was about, I don't know what I was, 9 or 10, all the way up to about 16, 17, it was used every single day for hours. And that's what the difference is. Yeah, I'll tell you what I should be doing, really. Instead of messing around with these ones, I should be putting some attention into my old 21. There's no oil left in those shocks. It's all leaked out. All of them have leaked out. They're not even the original shocks. The original shocks got bent. I've still got them in a box, and they leaked. These are the shocks that come off of my Savage SS when I bought it, and I put different shocks on that. I converted it to a 4-shock, you know, so it's just a single on each corner, I think from some Savage X or something or another. So I put the shocks on this, but then since then these have leaked as well. There's absolutely no oil left in them whatsoever, so it should be nice and soft and slow like this one, but nope. No oil in there. And there's a 3-speed gearbox in there, which I put on there. That was an upgrade. I put that on there, but it's never worked. It's only ever done 2 gears. Whether it's 2 to 3 or 1 to 2, I don't know, but it's only ever changed to 2 gears. There's a 3rd gear in there somewhere. I've never got it to work. So really, I did put a K4.6 in there at some point. I drowned it in many ponds. It's up there. It runs still like a dream. There it is, K4.6. It runs perfectly well, but for fun, I put the old 21 engine in there, the old big block 21 engine, which still runs like a dream. And yeah, I should be putting attention into that, really, instead of messing around with these. I think what I might do, the whole point of this one was to buy it, get it going, repair any parts on it, sell it, and tell you lot all the costs, all the numbers. I think hopefully if I make some profit on this, I'll put that profit into my 21, and we'll do like a Savage 21 restoration. I'm not going to restore it perfectly because I have still got all the plastic arms, every little part I put on here. I've got the old exhaust. I've still got, this is the original shell obviously, I've still got all the original parts that I took off of it. I'm not going to put it back to all original parts. I think I'll probably clean it up, get the gearbox working, repair these shocks, or put new ones on, depending on how bad these ones are leaking. I don't know whether you can actually buy rebuild kits for these shocks anymore. If I can, I might get some. If I can't, I'll have to sort something out. But yeah, I think that might be a bit of an idea. Any profit that comes out of this one, or even the money that come out of it, if I do get some profit, it's going to go straight into this, I think. So I reckon that sounds like fun. If you think that sounds like a good idea, let me know in the comments, because, well, I think it would be. I don't know whether I'll have to do a lot of hunting around though, I reckon, to try and get new bumpers. I mean, they were all broken years ago. That all broke a long time ago, held together with cable ties now. And this is all broken, held together with cable ties. Oops. Yeah, there we go. I mean, underneath the shell, this is probably one of the straightest. I need to undo that body kit. This is an extremely straight Savage, really. It hasn't got, I forget what it's got in it now. I think it might have Fly Sky. I can't remember what I transformed it to. A bit of TIG wire, or was that MIG wire? I think it's a bit of MIG wire holding the exhaust on. Great. That's just what we need. Just kind of cobbled together. But one of the best RC cars I've ever had. It just never ever stopped. Never. Still got nitro in there from the last time I ran it, probably about 6-7 years ago. I don't know when I ran it last. That screw's come loose. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's a good idea. So there we go. This, oh, look at that. I thought, well, hang on, it's changed looks. It's not, it's just that one. Right, let's put that back on there. This 25 is now back up and running again. I think the next thing to do is to go and give it, oh look, that's come off of there, look. I think the next thing to do is to go and give it, oh that one's come off of there as well, is to go and give it another test drive. Obviously I've got to put a cover on that gearbox first. We'll go and give it another test drive. We'll make sure that the gearbox is working properly, because we didn't really get around to doing that because that spur melted in the middle of us doing that, but it did change gear just before it melted, so I think there's somewhere close. Also, and I don't know this, I haven't done any research, and my knowledge on Savages doesn't extend this far, but a few people have said if this is a limited edition one, it will have a 3-speed gearbox. Trouble is, you can buy them anyway. You can buy the 3-speed gearboxes and put them in any Savage you want. There's one in this 21 which I bought many years ago, and there's a 3-speed in the Savage SS, there's a 3-speed in the other 25. But I don't care whether it's a limited or not. If it has got a 3-speed gearbox, I'll have to have a look at getting the third, so it does all 3 gears. I won't know if it's a 3-speed gearbox until I take it apart, because you have to take it apart to adjust the second gear. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's first to second you have to take it apart to adjust. I think on the slightly new ones you had to take it apart to adjust the third one, and then I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure on the new ones you can adjust all 3 gears from the outside. If I'm wrong, correct me by all means. Nevertheless, the fact that there is only 2 holes in there means that you can only adjust 1 change. If there's 3 holes, you can adjust 2 changes, so 3 gears, first, second and third, as and when they change. I won't know if it is 3-speed without taking it apart. I'm not going to take it apart yet. I'm going to go and test drive it. If I can get it to change gear and get it to drive properly, and I think it is starting off in first and going into second, I think I'll probably leave it. Don't know yet, but anyway, thanks for watching. Mended the Savage. I can't wait to go and drive it again properly. I know now that the slipper clutch is not going to slip. I've done that up as tight as I dare do it. I think now it's going to be a beast. It's going to be, that's going to be popping wheelies like no tomorrow. I'll see you in that video. See you later. Take care. Love life. All the best.